I wanted to come on here today and talk about solitude, loneliness, and I came across a little story. And the story goes on to talk about the journey of a good-sized stone that rested in a pleasant grove, surrounded by flowers, perched above a busy country road. And despite this peaceful existence, the stone grew restless. "What am I doing among these herbs?" he asked. "I want to live in company of my fellow stones." Unhappy and alone, the stone contrived itself to roll itself down onto the road where it would be surrounded by countless other stones. But the change was not quite as wonderful as he expected. Down in the dirt, the stone was trod on by horses, driven over by wagons, and stepped on by people. It was alternately covered in mud and feces, and chipped and jostled, and moved. Painful moments made all the more painful by the occasional sight the stone was given of its old home, and the solitary and peaceful it had led behind. It's difficult to understand yourself when you are never by yourself. It's difficult to have much in the way of clarity and insight if your life is a constant party and your home is a construction site. Sometimes you have to disconnect in order to better connect with yourself and with the people you serve and love. How much more present would we be if we actually stopped trying to fit in and we just smiled about what we had in our lives? It's not loneliness that we are experiencing. It's the freedom to express the gratitude of where we are. And I think that I've definitely struggled with this a little bit in the last couple of weeks, but think of that stone. The story of a stone who was surrounded among all these beautiful herbs, flowers, and yet it was unhappy with where it was. This is a little story by Leonardo da Vinci, actually, and I think it's beautiful because we need to be where we are. Be present. Enjoy what you have. Never take anything for granted, but always taking a second to look around, not only to cherish, but to love and appreciate what we have around us. What we have in this world is so finite, and it's so rare to come across, and everyone's situation is so unique and different. But I think whenever things hit the fan, we can think about the stone and think about how maybe it should have taken a second to look around and appreciate what he had instead of trying to go where he thought it was right. And I think it starts with getting to know yourself a little bit more and taking a second to think about, okay, what do I value? What do I love? Who makes me happy? Who do I want to surround myself with? And it's only when we do that that we can truly start to expand and start seeing the world for what it is and losing our prejudice on things and just enjoying everything we have. It's not loneliness. It's freedom. The freedom to be there for yourself. The freedom to do what you want. And not to force things. I think letting things come to you and letting those things fall into place and not judging them and letting whatever happens happen. To let go. Always knowing that there is no future self to achieve and there is no past self to overcome. And what we do have is right now. And to experience life is to accept the possibility of everything, right? At the end of the day, you can't control other people. You can't control opinions. You can't control the media. What you can control are your choices. What you can control is being there for yourself when no one else is. To show up for yourself. To pick yourself up. To start looking at things a little bit more differently. And stop treating yourself like a victim and start treating yourself as a human being. And to just start doing. Just do. Be there for yourself. Be present. Be that stone in its place of absolute solitude and beauty, and to just accept it. And to just be happy and just know that you're exactly where you need to be in life. And if you weren't meant to be there, you would be elsewhere, right? I believe that everything happens for a reason. I believe that everything that happens to us is an opportunity to learn. And I believe that we are responsible for that. And as hard as it is, I think that we can find purity in every experience that we have in our lives, good and bad, knowing that we have to get back to work. But hey, take time to think about what happened to you. Take time to experience where you are. Don't reminisce on the past too hard, but know that everything that happened made you who you are now. And I say this a lot, but if you went and fixed all the mistakes you ever made, you'd erase yourself. And I think that's it for today. The story of a stone.